Gotta get into a little disco music, indeed. We're in the 70s, so why not? Mid 70s, I'm an unabashed fan of disco music, I'll admit it. I don't care what anybody says. Some great disco records came out. Some of them were not big hits, though. And so it is. Billboard's Hot 100, December 1976. Down to Love Town by the Originals. The Originals, they go back. Uh, I don't even know where to start with the Originals. They formed, I'm trying to remember the year that they formed. I think around 1966. It might have been earlier than that. A lot of the guys who were the original members of the Originals were also in other Motown groups at one time or another, or Detroit groups at one time or another. And one of the guys in the band, Freddie Gorman, he was a mailman. Freddie Gorman, bass singer. He co-wrote "Please, Mr. Postman," which was a huge hit by the Marvelettes. One of the early, really big Motown hits, came out in 1961. And another member, C.P. Spencer, one of the original members of the Spinners. So these guys, they've been around. They know how to sing. They know how to play. They know how to get down. And 1969, Baby I'm For Real. God, that killer ballad, Baby I'm For Real. You got the classic soul, the classic harmonies, the strings and all that. We're talking about the era. You're talking about 1968, 1969, 1970. You're talking about the Delphonics, the Originals, the Dells. Um, well, the main ingredient, they came along a little bit later, but God, Manhattans. I mean, well, anyway, you got the Originals, produced by Marvin Gaye. Baby I'm For Real, and then the Bells in 1970, also produced by Marvin Gaye. This record, Love Town, by the Originals, Billboard's Hot 100, Down to Love Town, by the Originals, produced by, co-produced by Frank Wilson. Frank Wilson was he was a producer at Motown, not a real big marquee producer like, say, Norman Whitfield or Holland Dozier Holland. But boy, he produced some jams. One of them, oh, you're going to love this. He produced this record. I think he might have even co-written it, Frank Wilson. You Made Me So Very Happy. The original version by Brenda Holloway. Co-produced by Frank Wilson. Brenda Holloway's soulful version of Baby You Made Me So Very Happy went to number 39 on Billboard's Hot 100. We are talking 1967. This was about a year and a half, maybe 2 years later. Blood, Sweat, and Tears had their massive version of You Made Me So Very Happy, but originally done by Brenda Holloway, produced or co-produced by Frank Wilson. Berry Gordy Jr. also getting some production credits on that record. And Frank Wilson co-produced Love Child. This was when it was produced. It's written by a songwriting collective called The Clan. And I think he was a member of The Clan along with R. Dean Taylor, Dike Richards, D-E-K-E Richards, who co-produced a lot of the early stuff by the Jackson 5. Might have been Dick Richards, is how you pronounce his first name, I'm not sure. But anyway, Frank Wilson co-wrote and co-produced Love Child. And he left Motown in 1976, became a born-again Christian. He produced this record, co-produced this record by the Originals. Great disco record. Went to number 1 on the disco charts for about a week. On Billboard's Hot 100, it peaked at number 47. A somewhat respectable 47 when you consider. Got to consider a lot of disco records did not make top 40. Maybe just not. A lot of these songs were just really long. And you had to edit them to like 3 or 4 minutes to make them playable for top 40. But respectable, I guess. Number 47 on Billboard's Hot 100, The Originals. Down to Love Town on Billboard's Hot 100 in December 1976. And that song, by the way, coming in at number, let me get it for you. Oh gosh, bear with me. Here it is. Actually, it's dropping. It fell from its peak of 47 down to 62. At that point, it was on Billboard's Hot 100 for 9 weeks. Down to Love Town by the Originals.